Welcome back. Another week has gone by on the internet, and it looks like MrBeast and KSI have entirely given up on being taken seriously. To be fair, I don't know if there was ever a time where I was inclined to take KSI seriously, but it does feel like MrBeast has just recently made the conscious decision to join him and Logan Paul in the realm of unseriousness. So let's talk about how these creators have seemingly transitioned to irony as their main marketing strategy, and whether or not I think it'll work out for them.
It's like rain.
Let's start out with what these guys are marketing in the first place and how they went about it originally. The Nightmare Blunt rotation of Logan Paul, KSI, and MrBeast recently launched a Lunchables ripoff known as Lunchly. This product combines Jimmy Donaldson's Feastables,
Crunch Bar. Feastables Crunch
Yeah!
Logan Paul and KSI's Prime,
400 milligrams of electrolytes, my God!
and your standard Lunchables fare like a mini pizza or some nachos. Their initial marketing push, emphasis on initial there, focused on painting Lunchly as a healthier alternative to Lunchables.
Theirs, as it says on their box, is mozzarella pasteurized prepared cheese product. They can't even call it real cheese. We're also 30 less calories, 3 less grams of fat, and 8 less grams of sugar.
Although looking at the nutrition facts and the allegations of lead contamination in Prime, there's likely not a significant difference between the two products besides the personalities behind them. Because of this, the products have been poorly received and generally panned as a blatant attempt to cash in on their younger audience. The guys faced widespread criticism from other creators online, including people like Dan TDM, who had this to say. What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better. Now, I tend to agree with Dan TDM here, but the original crew stuck to their guns, at least initially. Logan Paul spun a yarn about how they'd worked hard to build their brands, and so therefore, they deserved to cash in on the younger audience that they had amassed. MrBeast, as you might expect, had a much more level-headed response, focused more on the nutritional value of his product once again, although that still doesn't change the fact that most people still believe they're overemphasizing the healthiness of this product. As for KSI, his response has been probably the most unhinged of the three.
How does this benefit their fans? Looks like crap to me while showing his toys that he sold to kids.
Wait, you did the same as Dan. You made toys with Tube Heroes.
And yes, that's fair, but I'm not the one complaining.
Repeatedly tweeting at Dan TDM, criticizing collaborations he's had where he's sold products in the past, and then also releasing a near 20-minute video where he focuses entirely on this one tweet, essentially.
It's like rain.
Speaking of KSI, shortly following the Lunchly debacle, he released a new single titled Thick of It. We'll say D minus for the title because it's very hard to pronounce. But I've listened to it, and guys, I need you to make this a safe space for me when I say that I didn't entirely hate it. I'm serious. It's pretty catchy, and the beat is really basic, but I do like it. Don't get me wrong though, this shot is laugh out loud funny. This isn't going to my playlists or anything. KSI made sure of that when he became one of the most annoying people on the internet, and also included references to his YouTube subscriber count and also his boxing career.
40-something many songs or so I've been told. From the screen to the ring to the pen to the king.
Like, where am I supposed to play this at, man? In spite of all that though, I didn't think it was the worst song in the world. You would think that KSI, who spent time and money to produce the song, would agree with me. And if you take a surface level glance at his reaction to the near hundreds of creators online openly mocking his song,
Why is he laughing? Because of the Prime Bowl, right? Yeah, probably.
From the screen to the ring to the pen to the...
Funny.
From the screen to the...
Turn that shit off. Turn that shit off!
Bro, he didn't even give it a chance, man. Just...
you might get the impression that he does think it's good. But I'm suspicious. I'm suspicious of him, I'm suspicious of his management team, hell, I'm suspicious of MrBeast and the Paul brothers.
It's like rain.
Because the internet hates Lunchly, and boy does it hate this song. Over the last week and a half, like 90% of KSI's content has been reacting to people dunking on the thick of it. Thick of it. It's not the thick of it. It is not in the thick of it. It is just thick of it. Absolute nonsense. It's to the point where I can't help but feel like this was the plan all along. To drive content creators and internet goers to hate listen to the song. Now, in this horrible interview with the world's worst person, Aiden Ross, KSI does mention that Atlantic is the one who keeps asking him to react to these TikToks about how bad the song is.
I'm not them.
Makes me happy releasing my music, and then I've got people trolling online repeatedly, and there's nothing I can do. And it pisses me off. And then I've got the fucking Atlantic hit me up being like, bro, I know you're gonna hate me, but you better, you gotta react to another TikTok because they're just flying right now. You gotta react to another TikTok. Just keep on reacting, bro. It's great, huh?
So I don't actually know if KSI put this song out knowing he would get this reaction, or if Atlantic produced this song in order to stir up this firestorm of hate that's happened. But either way, this avalanche of reaction content feels like they're banking on this sort of negative press. In my mind, MrBeast and co. are also doing the same to get the word out about Lunchly. It was already a baffling move to see MrBeast, who I think people were beginning to be a little bit weary of, but was still generally well regarded online, team up with two of the most hyper-aggressive and disliked personalities on the platform. But then he doubled down by advertising Lunchly on the Talk Tuah podcast with Haley Welch. Check out my video on that, by the way, if you haven't already. And I was even more confused at this point.
I like my cheese drippy, bruh. I like my cheese drippy, bruh. That's so good. Let's start the podcast.
I mean, surely, sorry, didn't mean to call you that. The target audience of that show isn't the same demographic that goes through Lunchables like Diddy goes through bottles of baby oil. So like, is he seriously trying to market this product, or is he trying to turn it into a meme? I think it might be the latter, because the culmination of all this nonsense happened just a couple days ago. MrBeast posted a TikTok titled, "This is the best day of my life." Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Here's how it goes.
From the screen to the ring to the pen to the king. Where's my crown? That's my bling. Always drop.
Hey man, I think that's really funny. Like when other people do this bit online.
See, I believe that if I see it in my heart, smash through the ceiling 'cause I'm reaching for.
But I don't know if it's necessarily the type of thing that you, the person who makes the product, should be leaning into, right? I mean, the joke here is that all of these products are so unbelievably shitty that you would have to be an absolute madman to consume even one of them, let alone all three at one time. It implies that you think no one in their right mind should consume Lunchly, that the song your business partner put out is trash, and that the podcast produced by your other business partner's brother, where you advertise your Lunchly product, by the way,
I like my cheese drippy, bruh.
isn't worth listening to for anyone. That's why it's so funny whenever regular people online say that they're gonna do these things, because no one would ever do that for real. But is it funny when the person who produces these things joins in on the joke? I'm not really sure it is. Look, I'm all for making yourself the butt of the joke to try and earn a little bit of goodwill with the public, but this one feels way too much like admitting no one over the age of 14 is ever going to buy these things you're pushing. Can this kind of thing actually work if you're counting on people to only consume your products ironically?
It's like rain.
I mean, probably, yeah. If any business whose target audience is adults with fully formed brains came right out and said, hey, our product is not worth buying unless you're doing it ironically, I don't think that they would last very long, and I honestly don't think they deserve to, right? But that's not what these creators are going for here. This marketing strategy is actually a pretty effective three-pronged approach that not many other businesses can pull off. Now, the first prong is the one that we've seen the most of throughout this video, the ironic consumers. It may seem like a bad idea to intentionally make yourself the mockery of the internet, and generally it probably is, but if you're only in this for the money, it may not be such a bad thing. MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul have set themselves right in the middle of the internet's crosshairs with all of this reaction content and the rented out theater TikTok. The type of backlash they're facing means that hundreds, if not thousands of people are going to grab a Lunchly or stream thick of it. My brain literally has to stop every time to make sure that I pronounce that correctly and clearly. Not a good title, just to see what all the fuss is about. You might pick up a few repeat customers from this group, but odds are you're just going to collect those one-time hate streams and sales. Which is fine, because those are just the icing on top of the other two prongs of this attack. These next two go hand in hand, but they're predicated on one thing: the children.
Boom. A child. No.
The biggest factor at play here is the fact that all three of these creators have enormous audiences of young children who will buy anything that they put out. They don't need you to take them seriously because these young kids are going to buoy their bottom line no matter what. In fact, the third prong in this strategy actually works better if you don't. These guys are the kings of generating an us versus them mentality among their followers. Anyone who has a valid criticism of their product or their content is labeled as a hater. And the kids who trust these guys wholeheartedly essentially have no choice but to agree. So now not only do they want to buy their stuff, but they also have increased motivation to support them both financially and in discourse online. When you put all that together, it really is a great strategy. All it costs is your dignity, I guess, and everyone else's quality of life on the internet.
It's like rain.
Danny Gonzalez just posted a video the other day, and in it, he mentioned that people who are making these shitty little AI animations often target kids as their primary audience because adults simply won't stand for poor quality.
Why is it that the laziest people try to make content for kids? Is it because they know kids are a little bit dumb and will watch anything and are easily tricked? Yeah, it probably is. I'm not gonna give you time to think about it. It is.
You can convince a child to accept these things. And in MrBeast and KSI's case, they don't even need to do that much. They can count on their support as a given. And in the meantime, they've attempted to save face in the adult world by first swearing up and down that they had good intentions, and then when that failed, pretended like they were in on the joke the whole time. All I'm saying is, you wouldn't need to do any of this if you just made a quality product that people wanted or needed in the first place. None of us are laughing with you. We're laughing at you. And you have to do better if you want us to stop. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron Trevino. Make sure you like, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments below. I've just been blown away by the success of the Moodang video last week. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll leave a card above. But just thank you so much for everyone who tuned in, everyone who subscribed off of that video. Moodang will definitely hold a special place in my heart because of that. So thank you again, Moodang, for being the people's princess and being an absolute champion. The comment of the week actually comes from that video from @YukiIka7. The Cincinnati Zoo is a good example of the message of this video. Yuki, I couldn't agree more. It's a world-renowned zoo that is consistently doing right by its animals. But there was the incident, which was caused by negligent visitors, but that's exactly the point, right? The good that zoos do and the way that humans fall, quite literally in this case, but fall short. R.I.P. Harambe, you are missed. But that does it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I hope to see you at next week's 1-year anniversary. See you then.
Drip versus stick. I like my cheese drippy, bruh.